Hello and welcome to Floyd Models Kit View Time. Today we got Trumpeter's latest release. This is the 1/48 scale MI-24A Hind-B type. So basically this is the early one, or as I like to call it, the greenhouse version. Lots of glass on the front before it moved over to the later Hinds with just the two sort of cockpits down in there. So again, really nice to see an early one. Obviously we've seen the Apache done as an early version as well. Now we're seeing the Hind family, so hopefully we'll get a few more out of this one as well. So the kit itself, nice little bit of box art on there. I'm gathering that's probably going to be sort of Afghanistan through the eras of it and all the rest of it, as you can see. So on the box, we've got the CAD work on there showing, to be honest, looks very impressive. We've got a full cabin detail, full cockpit detail, and obviously with the pylons and various things like that. Kit number for this one is 05828. And again, we've got some of the markings down in there as well. So pretty much as we'd expect. But nice workload out of weapons as well. So obviously we've got the gun packs, the rocket packs, freefall bombs and guided missiles on that one as well. So a little bit of photo etch, some nice decals all the way through. So in the box, we are greeted by the usual sort of plethora of bags, as you might imagine. We've got some protective ones as well, which is quite nice. Things that are coming up soon, so obviously the details on the Hind. And then we have the fuselage halves themselves. So the Hind is a bit of a lump, it's a bit of a beast all the way through. We've got the rotors. And obviously I assume we've got the clear parts down in there, which is nice. And again, we've got another one down in here. Looks like a little bit of slide moulding down for this part down in there. A little bit of photo etch, which to be honest with you is a lot smaller in real life than it is on the picture. So we've got one of those. We've got, obviously we are seeing now with all the Trumpeter kits is obviously die cast cut mast set for it, which is very nice. And we've got the decals. And of course we have the old instructions and the usual full pull out sheet as well for the markings on those ones. So on the old instructions, we've got that usual type of way of doing it with them. So looking down in here, it's a bit difficult to see it at the moment. So we're looking like this is probably going to be the version of this. They haven't done the usual chop the front off or do different versions and things like that. But obviously we have seen the D already. So completely new fuselage half for this one. So down in the cockpit area, one of the biggest differences, obviously for the seating and all the things like that, is down in here for the gunner and for the pilot on these ones. Again, they're a little bit different to how later ones are. So we've got the full ones on the front down on here with all the various parts going into them just like that. We've got the rear cabin going down in there. Got a little bit of exhaust detail and obviously intake detail going to be going down here on the front, but not too much. We've got no engines or anything else like that. And then obviously we've got the various sighting systems and HUDs being fitted down below. Two fuselage halves going together. We've got the windows being fitted down in there. Some of the bulkheads, the rear wheel wells and that being fitted down on this side. And then straight the way across, we've got the nose wheel system being put down in there as well. And obviously we've got the gun for the front. And then we've got the cabin section going in. We've got the roof section as well with a little bit of gearbox showing down in here, but nothing too much at all. Exactly the same for the other side as well, and then buttoning up both halves together. All right, so that's all those done. With that one in, we've got a few lumps and bumps and various things. So we've got the Doppler and the various things being fitted down on the bike. We've got the tail strike protector on there as well. Mast set, talking about with the clear parts, it's one piece, drops down on the top. Hopefully that'll be a really nice fit with that one. And again, I'm assuming you can do the doors open or closed as well, so you can fit those as is required. And then we've got the gear being fitted down onto this one, various lumps and bumps on the outside on this side as well. And then on the top, we've got the engine with the covers being fitted down on there just like that. Finally, more steps and various lumps and bumps and things like that being fitted down. And obviously you can do it with the actual doors open or closed right the way through. And then we move over to the actual wings. So we've got the wings on the side and obviously the pylons being fitted down onto there. Pretty straightforward. We've got the tails going on there. A few of the aerials being fitted in there just like that one. Then we're working on the rotor head. And again, we've got the full rotor head with the blades installed just on like that. Can then be popped on. Same with the tail rotor, go right the way through. Then we've got the rocket pods down in there as well. So we've got the rocket pods onto those ones. And they say you can fit it with freefall bombs, guided missiles as well. And we've got the gun pods as well if you wanted to be fitted with that one. And this one here, I don't know what a PTB 450 is, but I know that one's a 23mm gun down on there. So again, I don't know if that's a fuel tank, could be a fuel tank. So either that or a little bit of a bomb maybe. So usual thing, we've got the weapons call out areas and stations, as you can imagine, just on the top there. Then we've got the colour call out sheet down in here, as you can see. So standard Soviet markings down on this one. And then over here, I've got no idea, is that a Chinese one? Possibly. Down in there as well. So down as well, to say we've got these. I wonder if that is a fuel tank on that one, to find out what that is. So very nice indeed, standard type of colours. So we've got the little bits down in here. So down in here we've got the markings with the die cut set. If we just nibble our way under here. So we've got these with the looking pretty darn good. We've got the decals. I'm not sure about this green. That sort of turquoise Soviet colour, but we've got those, we've got the masks, and obviously we've got the photo etch down in there as well with all three of these. The photo etch, to be honest, there's not too much, as you can see down onto here. There's not a lot going on with that, but you've got a front windscreen wiper and a couple of the other parts on there just like that. All right, let's keep these nice and safe. I'm going to pop all three in there like that. So straight into the first bag. Let's have a look at the fuselage. So, okay. Right, so straight off the bat, we've had this before. There's no raised rivet detail on these, and obviously, as we know, a lot of them are raised rivet details on this, and the Hind is no exception, and they haven't gone with it. It's actually recessed riveting on this, but it does have raised areas in here. So we've got the reinforcement strip down the front here. That's all raised, and it has got various onto this one. I was very negative about the Apache, and I'm sort of very negative about this one as well, that it's not done. But if you're just one of these people who likes to pop a wash on and get all the details to pop up that way, it will work because they are all on here. And to be honest with you, the detail on the surface is actually very, very nice indeed. If I can catch it in the light, you can probably see. So this strengthening strap goes all the way around the front end, looking nice. The actual riveting is very fine. Very, very nice all the way through. And it has got raised details. So we've got the plating down the side here, all of these ones, but you can see it has got all the details. It's just one of those ones where it's, you know, unfortunately, it's not true to life. And the Puritans out there will absolutely hate it. But just be careful with these IFF panels down in here, the actual pins, because otherwise you're going to snap them off. You need to keep them and the various ones. So again, that doesn't look too bad. Over on here, you can see it's a little bit basic, shall we say, down in here. So we've got the cabin areas down onto this one. We've got some of the other cabin areas down on here. The various bits and pieces. It is what it is. Internally, got a little bit of detail just down in the back here, but there's nothing else to this one right the way through. It's typical Trumpeter, shall we say. But I think, and I'm sort of, you know, somewhat warming to the detail, because the detail, as you can see down here on the tail, is really, really nice. It's just a real shame that it's not raised in some areas, but they've elected to go down the recess route. So who am I to judge it? All right. So again, not too bad at all. So that's that one done. Then if we move along here, we can look at the cabin bits. So again, another big old sprue. Looks like we've got sort of a little bit of slide molding down on here. So we've got actually some of the pylons. Weirdly, only one. I don't know if it's a match pair. There's another pylon floating around here somewhere. The all-important cabin floor, front and rear, as you can see, doesn't look too bad. So again, looks pretty nice all the way through. It's funny how the pilot obviously sits offset. I assume with this one, I could be wrong, but the pilot should be behind if it's anything like all the other Hinds, unless they changed it for the A, and the gunner's in the front, but the pilot's offset to one side. So, and again, rudimentary, we've got some pedals fitted down in here. Some of the details on the side isn't too bad. Cabin floor actually is not too bad at all. You can probably see it's got a little bit of detail down in here. Got the rear bulkhead. Various parts look okay. The roof lining, things like that, right the way through. And as I say, you can probably see on here with the other parts. The pylon as well doesn't look too bad. The roof lining's got a basic type of quilting on the top. It's nothing to get excited about, but you're not going to see too much. This is quite nice. They've done this in one piece though, so you haven't got to put two halves together. So that's the actual engine covers at the top. There is no engine. All right. And again, if you've followed me for any amount of time, you'll know that probably around about, must be getting on for 15 years ago now, I did actually, let me do this one over here, I did actually do the big 1/35 scale Hind, and we threw a load of aftermarket at it as well. And you'll know. So in some ways, Trumpeter do know what they're doing with this one, because they have done it before. So sprue H, we've got the other bits of the wing pylons down in here. We've got that giant rotor head down in here, the lumps and bumps for the covers, for the gears and various things down in here. So again, it all looks pretty darn nice. We move in a little bit closer, you can see some of the details. So the tail rotor, the pylons, the gear wells, the main rotor head itself. Doesn't look too bad. It's got this nice big plating area, which means attaching the blades is going to be good. They're not going to be bending and folding on you and all the rest of it. So I'm quite happy with that. Okay, so down in here on the wheels. So again, down in here, we've got the main, this is sprue A. We've got lots of the smaller parts, some of the engine bits and pieces, the APU, things like that, looking nice. We don't have any weight on wheels. They're just round wheels. But again, it's all here. It's a, you know, we've been talking about kits recently as like a jump off point for doing other things. You can probably see these aren't too bad at all. Looks pretty darn good. The cyclic and the swash plate up there and all the rest of it. So yeah, it's all okay. We do have ejector pins running over some areas. I'm checking down in this one as well. So this is if you're going to have it with the doors open, so it'll be the inside of the door. So we don't got any actually ejector pins in there, which is a nice touch. So that's okay. Doesn't look too bad at all. Quite livable, shall we say. So over here we have the rotors. So on the rotor front, again, they don't look too bad. Got everything you need in there. We do have a little bit of sag moulded in. You can probably see they are at an angle. So these are angled to have a little bit of rotor sag into them, which is pretty good. We've got the wheel wells down the back here as well. So they look pretty nice. No problem with those. We've got a match pair here, which I'm assuming is the weaponry. So obviously it's got the earlier guided missiles, things like that on this one. All right, so just rip that off. We do have, as you say, match pair for the rocket pods. And again, it looks like we've got the early and the late versions down in here as well. So we've got the later rocket pods as well as the early ones. I'm not sure it will carry those ones, but again, it's one of those ones. I think they carry the more of the pointy ones, these ones down in here, rather than the flat ones on this side. Definitely it's got the earlier missiles. Again, I'm assuming this, just looking at this has got the later sort of tow missiles, if you like, for want of a better word, but the wire-guided missiles are on here as well as the early type with these ones here, which I can't remember which ones these were called now. But it's got both types. So I'm assuming this is just a generic weapon set that has come out of a Hind kit, probably the D that came out before, and then obviously we got this one as well. So again, just a generic one. So anyway, you have got two of those to keep you busy with that. And then last up, we've got the clear parts. I don't know if we can sniff this one out the edge. We can. Wow. So Trumpeter always do really nice clear parts. I know I might hit on them somewhat for surface details and textures and things. Clear parts is never a problem. And to be honest, this greenhouse at the front looks absolutely fantastic. Very, very nice indeed. Crystal clear, all of these parts. They are very, very nice indeed. So that's good. Got the side ones down in here. Got the pilot's door. And again, all completely crystal clear. So no problems with any of those ones. And that's your Hind. It's really nice to see a Hind A. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea because it's not the most prettiest looking thing. And in fact, it looks better head on and sort of, you know, sort of 3/4 than it does side on. Side on, it looks a little bit weird. So definitely it's the ugly sibling, if you like, to the later Ds and things like that. but it is still, I think, a really important helicopter to have. And again, we haven't seen the A-type in 48 scale before, ever, I don't think. Obviously, we've seen it in 72nd, but I don't think we've ever seen a Hind-A in definitely 48th or 35th. So, but yeah, really, really nice. Honestly, I'm a bit of a fan of the Hind anyway. If you know, obviously go back many years now, and we did a lot of custom work and upgrades and everything to it, to our own Hind that we've got over there on obviously the Big Brother with the 135th one. Had a lot of fun with that build. I'm assuming you're going to have just as much fun building these ones as well in 48 scale. So if you're a Soviet fan and obviously definitely a Hind fan, things like that, this one is going to be an absolute must.